Hey humans, welcome to Read to Me, Matt Dunn. Guess who I am? That's right, I'm Matt Dunn, and I'm reading Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. We are reading chapter 46, part 1. Gotcha. This is going to be a part 1, part 2. Ha ha ha. Well, aren't things getting interesting? Spicy even. We got love romances, jealousy, people wanting to talk about people but not wanting to talk about people. What is that? Weird. Love makes you do funny things. Chapter 46. Elizabeth had, oh my god, how many of these chapters start with Elizabeth? Elizabeth. Oh my god, this book's about Elizabeth. Elizabeth had been a good deal disappointed in not finding a letter from Jane on their first arrival at Lambton, and this disappointment had been renewed on each of the mornings that had now never been not there spent there. But on the third, her repining was over, and her sister justified by the receipt of 2 letters from her at once, on one of which was marked that it had been missent elsewhere. Damn it. Elizabeth was not surprised at it, as Jane had written the directions remarkably ill. Jane has just got a jitterhand. Jane the jitterhand, that's what they call her growing up. Jane the jitterhand, don't let her write any letters. Got Jane Jitterhand over here. Somebody help her. Somebody help Jane Jitterhands. They had been just preparing to walk as the letters came in, and her uncle and aunt, leaving her to enjoy them in quiet, set off by themselves. The one missent must be first attended to. It had been written 5 days ago. The beginning contained an account, something so you don't get missent letters if something juicy isn't in it. This is what, the chapter of the most boring 2 letters ever? Yeah, right. Let's get into this. Oh, I'm sorry. Had the audio translation on. That was my old language of happiness. The one missent letter must be offended first. It was written 5 days ago. The beginning contained an account of all their little parties and engagements, with such news as the country afforded. But the latter half, which was dated a day later and written in evident agitation, gave more important intelligence. It was to this effect. Since writing the above, dearest Lizzie, something has occurred of a most unexpected and serious nature. But I am afraid of alarming you. Be assured that we are all well. What I have to say relates to poor Lydia. Oh, Shidia. Lydia! An express came at 12 last night, just as we were all gone to bed, from Colonel Forster, to inform us that she was gone off to Scotland with one of his officers to own the truth with Wickham. Fucking Wickham! Fucking Wickham! Lydia, what the fuck did you do? Isn't Lydia like 14? Imagine our surprise. To Kitty, what? Wickham! What is this dude's problem? What the hell, Wickham? Oh my god. Imagine to our surprise. To Kitty, however, it does not seem so wholly unexpected. I am very, very, very sorry. So imprudent a match on both sides. But I am willing to hope the best, and that his character has been misunderstood. Thoughtless and indiscreet, I can easily believe him, but this step, and let us rejoice over it, marks nothing bad at heart. Okay, well, okay, so Lydia has no money, so he's not marrying her for the money, right? He's just marrying her for that little butt of hers. She's like fucking, what, 16, 14? There's different times. And you can marry your cousins, you know. His choice is disinterested at least, for he must know my father can give her nothing. Our poor mother is sadly grieved. My father bears it better. How thankful I am that we never let them know what has been said against him. We must forget it ourselves. They were off Saturday night about 12, as it conjectured, but were not missed till yesterday morning at 8. The express was sent off directly. My dear Lizzie, they must have passed within 10 miles of us. Colonel Forster gives us reason to expect him here soon. Lydia left a few lines for his wife, informing her of their intentions. I must conclude, for I cannot be long from my poor mother. I am afraid you will not be able to make it out, but I hardly know what I have written. That letter was late. And this sent. No wonder freaking Jittery Hands Jane couldn't write that letter. She was distressed. Oh, don't let Jittery Hands Jane get it. She's too nervous. Don't let her. She got shaky hands. Why is she writing it? Okay. Without allowing herself time for consideration, and scarcely knowing what she felt, Elizabeth, on finishing this letter, instantly seized the other and opened it with the utmost impatience. Read it as follows. It had been written a day later than the conclusion of the first. By this time, my dearest sister, you have received my hurried letter. I wish this may be more intelligible, but though not confined for time, my head is so bewildered that I cannot answer for being coherent. Dearest Lizzie, I hardly know what I would write, but I have bad news for you, and it cannot be delayed. What the fuck? Imprudent as a marriage between Mr. Wickham and our poor Lydia would be, we are now anxious to be assured it has taken place, for there is but too much reason to fear they are not gone to Scotland. Colonel Forster came yesterday, having left Brighton the day before, not many hours after the express, though Lydia's short letter to Mrs. F. gave them to understand that they were going to Gretna Green. Something was dropped by Denny expressing his belief that W. I guess that's Wickham, never intended to go there, or to marry Lydia at all, which was repeated to Colonel F., who, instantly taking the alarm, set off from, oh my god, there's so many fucking, from B, intended to trace their route. He did trace them easily to Clapham, but no farther, for on entering that place, they were moved into a hackney coach and dismissed the chassis that brought them from Epsom. All that is known after this is that they were seen to continue the London road. I know not what to think. After making every possible inquiry on that side London, Colonel F. came on into Hertfordshire, anxiously renewing them at all the turnpikes and at the inns at Barnet and Hatfield, but without any success. No such people had seen to pass through. With the kindest concern he came to Longbourn and broke his apprehensions to us in a manner most creditable to his heart. I am sincerely grieved for him and Mrs. F., but no one can throw any blame on them. Our distress, my dear Lizzie, is very great. My father and mother believe the worst, but I cannot think so ill of him. Many circumstances might make it more eligible for them to be married privately. Oh my goodness gracious. Let me just, Wickham. Many circumstances might make it more eligible for them to be married privately in town than to pursue their first plan. And even if he could form such a design against a young woman of Lydia's connections, which is not likely, can I suppose her so lost to everything? Impossible. I grieve to find, however, that Colonel F. is not disposed to depend upon their marriage. He shook his head when I expressed my hopes and said he feared W. was not a man to be trusted. My poor mother is really ill and keeps her room. Could she exert herself? It would be better, but this is not to be expected. And as to my father, I never in my life saw him so affected. Poor Kitty was anger for having... Poor Kitty has anger for having concealed their attachment. But as it was a matter of confidence, one cannot wonder. I am truly glad, dearest Lizzie, that you have been spared something of these distressing scenes. But now, as the first shock is over, shall I own that I long for your return? I am not so selfish, however, as to press for it. If inconvenient, adieu. I take up my pen again to do what I have just told you I would not. But circumstances are such that I cannot help earnestly begging you all to come here as soon as possible. Excuse me. I know my dear uncle and aunt so well that I am not afraid of requesting it, though I have still something more to ask of the former. My father is going to London with Colonel Forster instantly to try to discover her. What he means to do, I am sure I know not, but his excessive distress will not allow him to pursue any measure in the best and safest way. And Colonel Forster is obliged to be at Brighton again tomorrow evening. In such an exigence, my uncle's advice and assistance would be everything in the world. He will immediately comprehend what I must feel, and I rely upon his goodness. And that is the end of part one. That was the end of the letter as well. Breathe with me. Wickham. What a bad man. How dare he? What did he do? What is his plan? She has no money. Does he just plan on having a hookup? Does he really love her? He's gotta. What, you plan on selling her? Oh my God, Wickham. Hey, if you want to find out, check out the next video. I'm sure it's going to be uploaded ASAP. Please, 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 please hit that like button. Write some comments down below. Let me know what you think. Hit that subscribe button because I like having friends. Thank you. Be weird.